What if you closely match the description of someone fleeing a crime? That scenario would make for a reasonable suspicion, but you might know absolutely nothing about it, and it's just a coincidence. How does it work in those scenarios?
All right. So I believe this is a comment or a question on our, we did a video
Yeah.
on the stop and identify statutes, stop and ID statutes.
Yep.
And generally speaking, we reviewed some of the Supreme Court case law that says you got to have some reasonable suspicion, meaning under Terry versus Ohio makes it big again.
Mhm.
You have to have reasonable and articulable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot.
Yep.
Or something like that. Whatever that means, I'll let you guys decide. But it means they have to have a good, some sort of reason
Yeah.
to stop an ID. Now, the question here is, I think, do the police have to tell you what their suspicion is when they approach you? So take a scenario. Let's come up with a scenario.
I'm walking down the street. Cop stops me. He's like, "Hey, I need to see your ID," and I'm like, "No." He's like, "I have reasonable suspicion." And in my head, how I would do it naturally on the street would be like, "What's your reasonable suspicion?" And I know that's not how conversations usually go, but like that's how I would view it.
What's your reasonable suspicion? Now,
Yeah.
let's say the cop says, "I don't have to tell you."
Yeah. Now what?
Now you become the product of a YouTube video.
Yeah.
Because I see these all the time. Like
I'm
really
a sovereign citizen.
It's really easy to go down this rabbit hole, and I joke about it, but it's a problem because what happens is I think there's this notion out there, and look, people should know you should know your rights, and you should know what what the police can and can't do. And a good friend of mine once said, criminal procedure in law school that's really just a whole class on what the SOBs can't do to you.
Yeah.
Right. So fair enough. And I like the police. I have lots of good friends who are cops. I have lots of respect for what they do, but you should understand what they can do and what they can't do. But what it leads to is really bad stuff. If the police are violating your rights, I can help you once we get into a courtroom. And we're going to get to a commenter later. But once we get into court, I can help you. I can redress that in a courtroom. I can't help you on the side of the road, on the sidewalk, when things go really bad. The police have the guns. They have the badges. They got the numbers. You're not going to win that confrontation. And I'm not saying the police are right, but you're not going to win it. Now, back to the question, do they have to tell you what reasonable suspicion is or what they're basing their stop on?